Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Restomod Daisy, and tonight we're going to talk about buttstocks and swapping them between different models of small frame daisies. Now we're going to break this down a little bit because time-wise, bottle cap daisies, which are normally disclosed by having a bottle cap like these two units, are manufactured by Daisy prior to about 1974. So basically we're talking about small frame daisies, four different models of small frame daisies manufactured between, as early as in the case of a 111 Model 40, as early as 1946 to as late as about 1974. Now, we do have a current production 1938B that we're going to talk about, but only briefly to illustrate the differences between its small frame receiver and this 11140 model small frame receiver, and why this buttstock will not go on this gun without a little mod. Or conversely, an older buttstock won't fit this without a little mod. You can't just plop it back and forth because the distance between the trigger support screw and the buttstock bolt is slightly longer. And we're not talking much, just a little tiny bit longer on the later guns than it is on the early guns. Now, in Daisyland, it's not unusual to find a pre-74 Daisy that is not wearing its original stock. And the main reason for that kind of thing happening is that these are two examples of original stocks from a 1974 or before gun to, depend. And what we have here are two straight stocks. Now you'll notice that the stock is actually constructed kind of strangely. You've got this flat part here and the small piece that projects into the back of the receiver that provides a spot for the stock screw to mount. Now, the reason you don't see a lot of these around is because of this. It's really common. On any old Daisy you take apart, you are going to find a crack on this component, if it's there at all. And once that crack has finished its job and moves around to the other side, that tab goes away and there's no longer any place for the stock screw to secure it. So the stock gets wobbly. And we've all seen our fair share of anyway of daisies with wobbly stocks. As far as I know, no one has ever come up with a reliable, repeatable way to repair this. I've seen them patched with epoxy compounds, with screws back through here, but the whole assembly is just not all that robust. It isn't really built to be repaired. What do you expect for a cheap toy? So anyway, plastic stocks were predominant in Daisy production from about 55 up to about 74, and on past that for a while actually. And plastic stocks are not that durable. Now, the wood stocks came and went in Daisy productions, but wood stocks have their own issues. Daisy like to use poplar, which is a hardwood. It's not a very special hardwood, certainly nothing like a fiddleback maple. And this is a glue-up fiddleback maple, so it's got added strength all through the bond, which will help prevent the top from cracking off, which is what you'll normally see on this, right on the grain line. They'll split and pop off, and then you got the same problem, wobbly stock, because there's nothing for the stock screw to support, and there's no way for it to secure it to the receiver. Now, the question is, can you swap a plastic stock from one Daisy, a small frame Daisy, to another small frame Daisy? If they're bottle cap guns, pre-74, the answer is a resounding yes. And here we'll demonstrate. This is a stock off a Daisy Model 94. The little 94 here was one of the youth models because of the super short stock. If you're trying out a stock to see if it's going to fit, it's a real simple process. Just open up the lever, take the stock, slide it in. If you can see through that hole, and you can see that hole, it fits. There's really nothing more to it than that. So this stock will fit a Daisy Model 94, which is a small frame receiver gun. The next gun in line is a Daisy 1938, which is also a small receiver gun. And lo and behold, we can take our 94 stock and we can slide it in and it fits. So there we go. Now we have a super short plastic stock on a Daisy Model 1938. Now, we'll move up here to another small frame Daisy from the era. This is a Model 111, which is a different gun, but still the same receiver. So we take our stock and we slide it in and look at that. It fits this one too. It's a very versatile stock right here. Now, here's the real, to me, the screamer part. This is a number 111 Model 40. This gun began production prior to World War II, and I think they dropped them in 55. But this plastic stock, might have to fiddle with that just a bit, but it will fit. So, any small frame Daisy, from the 40s up to about mid-70s, will readily and easily accept a stock from another small frame Daisy. Now, in stocks, let's take a look at this for a minute. What you've got in Daisyland is the straight stock, or shotgun butt, and then the curved stock with a pistol grip. So if you've got a straight lever Daisy and you want to put a straight stock on it, cool, you can do that. If you've got a straight lever Daisy and you want to put a curved stock on it, you can do that as well, but you got to change the lever out, because if you don't, the gun will function, but it will look odd. You'll have a gap there. See that gap? That'll be kind of strange. Don't know if you want to do that. But this vintage 1946 Red Ryder stock will fit the 1140. It'll fit a Model 111. It'll fit a 1938. It'll even fit this Model 94. All the way back and forth, all the way up and down. Because Daisy was a big believer in common manufacturing. So even though these are all different model Daisies, they've got different logos imprinted on them, they come in different lengths, they come with different options, they are all the same receiver. And that's really good news for people like me who like to build this kind of stuff, because I only have to worry about one footprint. You know, what does the receiver have to look like in order for the stock to accommodate it? So that's stock making 101. On the last item, I'm going to reinforce this. We've already said it once. But if you take a look with a tape measure or a steel rule, center to center, you'll see that that's probably 1 and 11/16 maybe. A little bit less than 3/4. And when you look at the new production gun, you can see that it's much further apart. So when they went to the 1938 Bs with the plastic trigger assemblies and the different shot tubes, they also lengthened the receiver a little bit. So you won't be able to take your ancient stock and stick it on a new gun, and you won't be able to take the new stock and stick it on an ancient. Let me correct that. Yeah, you can take the new stock and put it on the ancient, just a mod. And that's all we do with Daisies here at Restomod Daisy, is modify them. So that concludes a small frame Daisy 46 to 75. Stock swapping, is it possible? Resounding yes. Shane Bruce,